Hey everybody, welcome to the Guardstreet podcast, cybersecurity at its best. And I want to say thank you to Lyneth Lopez. Lyneth, can you turn my headset down just slightly on this before we get going and do the full taping? There you go, that's much better. Thanks a lot. Hey, I'm going to do that again just to start over. Hey everybody, welcome to the Guardstreet podcast here on AM 1230 WJOB and 104.7. We record them live on the air here from the campus of Purdue Northwest. We're also on our YouTube channel at WJOB 1230. Please go and subscribe to the channel, and you'll also find the Guardstreet podcast there. What is Guardstreet? Here he is, Vince Massa. It's his deal. What is Guardstreet?
Well, Guardstreet is a cybersecurity company. We are focused on the holistic side of cybersecurity. In other words, we look at the crown jewels of the business and we determine with our clients what needs to be protected, what needs the layers, and we set them up for them. We also handle the emergencies that come through, the digital forensics, and then we're based in Wheaton, and we've got 1,000 clients globally. We work with about 70 managed service providers, IT companies, and we serve that independent role that every business needs.
So we have done this podcast for a while, and a lot of times we take individual issues. We want to take a little larger issue right now.
This is a big one.
Yeah, we want to go into this because you're talking about cyber criminals, and specifically state-supported cyber criminals. But let's start with cyber criminals. What is it?
Yeah, so most people don't realize that there is actually a cyber war happening today. There are a couple of countries in particular that have been attacking the United States. And while Congress has not declared a cyber war yet, the actions have been taken to support the U.S. And bring in the people to protect the U.S. The countries have actually declared, their generals have declared that there is a war going on. Let me start with defining what that is. So a cyber war is when a state-sponsored or country uses cyber attacks to either damage or destroy. It might be computer systems of another country. It could be critical infrastructure like the power grid, as an example. It could be maybe physical damage that's caused, or even damaging society. I mean, here's a way that society could be damaged is through, imagine if the banking system was shut down for a week. You know, how that would impact the U.S. So that's what a cyber war is, and that has been happening for for a long time, but really it's been prominent over the last 5 years in the U.S. and noticeable.
You know, we do a lot of talk about global things that are going on, and we talk about the different problems between the countries and the factions and so forth. I'm pretty sure I've never talked about this on the air. Actual cyber war between countries. Why? I mean, are people not talking about it? Or, I mean...
Well, you know, it's actually started to become more mainstream since COVID, since the SolarWinds attack timeframe, since the Colonial Pipeline timeframe, and also 60 Minutes actually covered one of the big countries attacking the U.S., which is China, a few weeks ago. So it's starting to really come into the mainstream. And it's something that, as a cybersecurity company, we deal with every day of the week. So it's a little surprising to hear that, but it's also kind of not. I think a year from today, it will be very much mainstream. But there's some real strong reasons why countries like China and Russia are attacking the United States. They have become such good cyber criminals. Especially over the last few years. And what they'll do is go up to the line, brush against it before a war, go to that line, but then take a step back. And the reason that they're attacking our infrastructure is because they want to get in there. And then one day, should it become a hot war, they can capitalize in a big way. And I'm going to give you an example of how that could happen.
Hold on a second. Let me just digest all this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, people listening on my hometown radio station right now are like, holy moly, is this real? Okay, it is real. You have China and Russia attacking us on every day.
Yep.
Right now as we speak. And it's going on, and we fight back and defend ourselves in certain ways. But they could be in a better position possibly if it actually came into a hot war. Now, what do you mean hot war?
So a hot war would be military actions, So let's say that the U.S. and one of these countries, fought directly in another country, we'll say, or worse. If they're in a position where they have an advantage over us during that hot war, and we know about it, their thought processes, they might think twice before taking this particular action. So what I'm referring to is, yes, a hot war, but let's look at the SolarWinds attack that happened back in 2020, 2021. There were 18,000 companies using this threat detection SolarWinds. That included our Department of Defense, that included our Department of Energy, and a whole host of other countries or companies in the U.S. For 9 months, Russia was in this software, and they got access for 9 months into key infrastructure. And do you think that they didn't put back doors in so that now they're out, or they appear to be out, but while you're in there for almost a year, a good cyber criminal is figuring out how to stay in or how to get back in should they need that. And to date, you can read books on it. This is all public knowledge. If you do the research, we still don't know the extent of how far they were in and where the back doors were. Now, that's important for us to know, and it's important for Russia that we know this, because that serves as a deterrent for that particular country when it comes to a hot war.
So is this, I mean, my wife loves to watch these like detective political thrillers, and a lot of it's like Cold War stuff, like this agent and that agent and who knows what, but it was happening under the surface of everyday American life.
Yes.
I mean, are we in a similar situation of Cold War, cyber war, Cold War?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to give you, so Russia, I'm going to cover China in just a second. Russia attacks, they're kind of that smash and grab. They're in it for the money. They, back in 2021, 74% of the ransomware attacks were Russian. They're mostly attacking U.S. countries, the U.S. companies are mostly attacked from the outside. Russia is in particular, but China as well. So to cover that point, why take like a China who isn't so much a smash and grab country? They're more of that calculated. They want to colonize the United States. They're in it to become the economic power, the military power, change our way of thinking type of country. Truly, they want to colonize the United States, and they have reorganized their 2 million person army to be strong in that cyber side of things. And the reason that they want to be strong there is because whereas they're not the smash and grab, make the money necessarily, they're more of the I want to steal trade secrets. I want to understand how their military works. I want to steal their companies type of country. And so they view cyber as a weakness of the United States. So they're strong there. They're tremendously strong there. They view us as weaker. And not because we actually are. I will say this, only because I've seen it firsthand, and we have some ex-NSA guys working with Guardstreet. I know their capabilities.
keep talking for a second. I'm going to walk over there and get my coffee off camera
Yeah, sit
because I
back.
need to chill out for a second. I mean, I'm fairly aware from doing our podcast and
Sure.
have my own business and being a tech guy, understanding this, but I know a lot of people are driving around. I was like, what?
What
are
is he
you
talking about?
And these podcasts play over and over on the air. And so I just need to digest this. So to summarize, you're saying that China and Russia, and they're not the only ones. There's other
No.
Eastern blocs.
Iran. Yeah, for
Iran.
sure.
They are like coming into our circulatory system and planting back doors, and they have at times been able to disrupt what we're doing. And we're so internet dependent, and we give away all of our information. So that's where we're at on this conversation. Okay, so what else do you want to say that's going to freak all of us out?
I will say that from a China perspective, from an AI perspective, they have been on fire, and China is very interested in the personal compromises. In other words, not just attacking businesses, but building their AI databases of information on Americans. They have a myriad of breaches. They have information on north of 170 million Americans. And even though that data may be encrypted, China is about playing the long game. They'll stockpile that information because they know at some point they're going to figure out how to unencrypt it. And then they'll use that for their AI behavioral models. And that's used then for changing mindsets, selling companies, going on social media, causing distrust in our government. This is all public knowledge that I'm sharing with you.
I know
but this
you
is
are,
the reality.
and we have a few
Yeah.
guys that call in and talk about this.
Yeah,
And one woman. And
it's true.
And the AI component of the dangers of, basically the dangers of the internet world that we live in. So let's bring it down to Guardstreet. This is the Guardstreet podcast. You've come on here many times, and we've talked about, different ways of, like when an employee leaves, what do you do to their credentials? How do you protect your emails? What should be the structure of your interior IT department and that kind of stuff? I mean, very specific things to small and medium-sized businesses. So on the surface, this sounds like something, BP's got to worry about, and you just steal up the road here, and Strack and Van Til groceries, and we're on the campus of Purdue. They got to all worry about it. But not me, man. I only got 20 employees.
Great question. Great point. And I'm going to tell you why the small businesses absolutely need to be worrying about this. And I'm not saying stay up at night, but do the things so you can sleep at night. Okay. And why is it a concern? Well, cybersecurity, the cyber industry that I work in is the fastest growing industry on the planet. Has been for a number of years, and all signs are it is going to continue. What really changed the industry of attacks was a couple of things. One is cryptocurrency, because that's how they get paid. You pay your ransoms in crypto because it's very private. But the prolific item that really changed our world is ransomware as a service. So literally for $35, you can be an inexperienced cyber criminal, and you can be in business. And the ransomware as a service is actually created by these bigger organizations for the little guys. It's kind of that gig economy meets cyber crime. And because of this, you've got this incredible software package that's incredibly successful because of AI, and you're in business. And so what I'm saying is, from a small business perspective, it's now economical to go after you. So you're considered a soft target. You're an easy target. So what happens with the cyber criminals, whether they're part of a state-sponsored group or they're individual, they'll have a portfolio. I think you know about stock portfolios and being a trader and so forth. you have a portfolio of companies, a lot of small ones, maybe 100 that you're working on any given day of the week, and you know that 2 or 3 are going to pop every week because your software is going to navigate through, find the vulnerabilities, and it puts you in a position where you can hold the company ransom.
Give us an example.
Absolutely. So email. So 90% of cyber attacks originate through email. And
Gosh.
and
We're going to come back to that, but go ahead.
All right. And so let's say it's a small business of 20 or 50 employees, maybe smaller, give or take. It is so using the ransomware as a service and the precise tools that come with it, you can impersonate the CEO or the head of accounting quite easily. It also incorporates social engineering so they can figure out a little bit of background, some nuggets that cause, like, that I have a relationship with that person. It's clear they're saying some things in their email that I'm aware of. And so it's an easier hit. And so then somebody clicks on maybe a download or a link, and malware is planted into the network through the ransomware as a service.
RAS.
Yep.
Because there's SaaS. Everybody knows SaaS.
This is RAS. RAAS.
Honestly, I'm gonna go, and you're sitting at night before bed, and you go on your phone for 20 minutes. I want to know more about ransom. Although once I Google it, I'm probably going to be flagged. I'm on all sorts of lists.
I don't think so, but maybe. But then it's so sophisticated that it will spot common vulnerabilities in the network, and within, it could be, depending on what it is, like seconds, be holding something ransom, and it's the service is so sophisticated. You got organizations behind it where you got to call in to deal with the ransomware, and they have a nice receptionist that answers the phone. They have nice hold music, so you can hold for somebody to handle your ransom, and then it's a business transaction. Very nice situation that you just had to pay a couple $100,000 out or whatever. But that's where the world has gone. The combination of crypto, ransomware as a service, and now AI. And what you didn't ask yet is, well, how much do these guys make? If you're a part-time gig economy cyber criminal, you're going to make at least $100,000. You go into this full-time, you should be a couple years. You're making $1.5 million. You get into that executive level, you're making $3 to $5 million, and then of course there's the ownership class of cyber criminals where they own the organizations. Those are the billionaires. So there's big money. Big or small companies, doesn't matter. There's big money to this.
Now, do some of them operate in the United States?
I'm certain that there are cyber criminals in the United States. From a cyber war perspective, this is I'm going back to this for just a moment because it may appear that an attack is happening from the United States, but it may not be. Less than 1% of the cyber criminals are ever indicted, and that doesn't mean they go to jail.
That was what my question was.
Yeah. So
less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
And so let's say 1 out of 1,000. Probably something like that.
But just because they're indicted doesn't mean they're out of business. It's the golden age to be a cyber criminal in Russia right now because the FBI can't go and arrest you. So, okay, maybe your organization will go out of business, but you'll start up a new one, and that's what happens. And the Russian government, while they do have a cyber criminal unit to the government, they hire the cyber underworld to go and attack. And the reason they do that is plausible deniability for the Kremlin. That's the world today. It's go and grab we need more money. So go attack some US companies, and you know what? There's a hot war that we're in right now, and we don't want the US to get any further involved. They need to know that we have certain access. That's the mentality of our enemies.
We're talking, if you're listening on the radio at some other time, like most people do, or you're picking it up on a podcast. Once again, this is Vince Mazza of Guardstreet Cyber Security. Vince, you've been coming here for years now, talking about specific things for small and medium-sized business. We never talked on a global, but you realize from the first time you came in this building that we're here at Purdue, it was all entrepreneurs and people kind of in little different areas and huts. It's just us left, and the rest of the building is cybersecurity right now.
Yes. I like
They're
this
getting
building.
so it's a beautiful building,
Yeah.
but I see the people coming and going, and I get to know. And there's a couple dudes that are really into the NBA from China, and I talk to them about NBA. And there's people from all over the world here, and that are coming in and out of here because it just keeps getting funded more and more. And when you say this is the biggest growing part of,
It's the fastest growing industry on the planet.
cybersecurity is
Yes.
the fastest growing industry on the planet. All right, let's just flip the script for a second.
Sure.
So here we are on the campus of Purdue, and there's students walking by and professors and all that. I mean, somebody comes in and they're like 17, 18, and they're coming into college. What would you, and they're kind of interested in this, what would you say to them?
Oh, I'd first let them know the runway for this. I mean, it's the industry that they're considering going into, because as a college student, you want to have a growing, prosperous career. This is that industry to get into. It's growing 15 to 20% a year. Currently, there's a shortage of 3.5 million people on the planet in cybersecurity. In the United States alone, there's a shortage of 1.7 million. So if you are considering cybersecurity, start with a certificate. If you like it, get in and work hard and try to get internships and get that experience. And if you genuinely have an interest in this, you will have a long and prosperous career.
Let's get specific.
Yeah.
Certificate, what do you mean?
There's a variety of certificates that you can get. I get certificates. I try to each year. I don't actually press all the buttons. I have people for that, but I'm very interested. A certificate might be focusing on a particular part of cybersecurity, like maybe cybersecurity training. You know, what's the appropriate path for bringing employees to a point where they're clicking on phishing emails less and they're keeping a clean desk and being aware of the proper ways to protect yourself and your organization. Another example, this is a great program to get into, is becoming a cyber hacker, an ethical hacker, and understanding where those gaps are in a network so that you could share with your employer or client one day, what they need to clean up. There are certifications for that. Or there's also management programs too. So it's all.
They have it here. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, we're looking at it as we speak to doing the podcast. All right, so much of what we do here, I do a podcast called Mastering Local Marketing. We have around 100 different organizations that are associated with us on sports or on the radio side. What do you specifically want to tell? Basically, there's 600,000 small and medium-sized businesses in Indiana. I mean, other than freaking them out like you just did, what do you want to tell them?
Okay, so I'm more of a fan of, okay, let's lay it out objectively. Here's what's happening, but there's also a warm blanket too, okay? And if there's anything I would like businesses to know about is, yes, here's reality. I'm telling you what it is, and we're always going to lay it out. But here are some good things. First and foremost, the United States is the strongest cyber organization on the planet. They've got so many good people. I'm thrilled with the path that the current administration, I'm not making a political statement, but and Congress has taken to support the cyber program. But bringing it down to the individual business, here's three things that I would advise any company on. Number one
Get
is
your pencil out or text it to yourself. Go ahead.
know what your crown jewels are. The crown jewels are the specific assets in your company where if they were taken from you, held ransom, that it would be devastating to your business. You would either go out of business or it would cause great pain. Those things might be select databases. Let's just say it's maybe a small medical office. Your HIPAA records are tremendously important. The data on your patients, that has to be protected as an example. If it's a manufacturing company, you have to be concerned about what you're manufacturing, and could industrial espionage be a concern of mine, since we have, say, the company, the manufacturing company has some trademarked items in there. They got to protect that. So know those crown jewels.
So let's just give a little context. We're here in Northwest Indiana, right down the street from the largest refinery in the world, or in the Midwest, and then right around the corner from two of the largest steel mills in the world. And then there's all these supporting manufacturers in this area, and many of them are going to hear this and go, "Oh my God, do I really have to worry about protecting my intellectual property?"
You do. Absolutely. If you're producing something proprietary to your organization, somebody wants to take that over. Okay, and industrial espionage is one way to do it.
Number one, know your crown jewel. Two.
Number two is you need modern defenses. I've covered in this segment AI. And by the way, Guardstreet, we are having a series of segments put together. We're going to be talking more about artificial intelligence.
I love doing this with you, but if you're going to freak me out every time, we'll see how it goes. But go ahead.
You'll sleep well with a warm blanket, but you need modern defenses. So a type of endpoint protection. You and I have talked about CrowdStrike as an example last year. Great company, great software, has artificial intelligence in it. You need to have those modern defenses, and you need to, not to go too technical today, but you need to have a zero trust architecture, meaning that every one of your devices in your company needs some armor around it, not just around the organization itself. And the third thing, I talked about China today a little bit. But one of the ways that China undermines our democracy, and that includes cyber attacks, is through compromising and bribing politicians. And so the third thing I would tell any business, and I'm not taking a position right or left, I'm saying politicians, because it doesn't matter to them, and vote. If you see something that a politician is doing that doesn't seem right, letting this foreign country buy land here, whatever, weird things going on, factor it all in and vote appropriately. So those would be the three things that I would advise.
Regarding state-sponsored
For sure.
attacks, number one, know your jewels. Number two, develop
Modern
defenses. And number three, vote.
Amen.
We got to end it. This is Guardstreet Podcast with Vince Mazza. He runs Guardstreet. If you want to get a hold of him, go to LinkedIn. Where?
Well, you can go to guardstreet.com.
Go to guardstreet.com, and he may or may not get back to you.
We'll always get back to you.
That's actually, he counsels me on not getting back to people. So it's an inside joke. But hey, please like the podcast. You can get it. If you want to watch, see what he looks like, go to WJOB 1230's YouTube page. If you want to just get it as a podcast, we'll have it up on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. It's Guardstreet. Is that one word or two?
It's one word.
One word, Guardstreet. And then, of course, you may be listening on WJOB catching this. This is being recorded in November of 2025. Lyneth Lopez, our very faithful producer, has done an amazing job, like always. Until next time, we'll see you later.